Chronicle of the Crown, session 31. And we are in the midst of a bit of, a montage as we are spending a year in various pursuits with both Ishmael and Davren spending time in the secret city of the poet, Oranine, the poet's harbor, in the Great Swamp to the south of Karamaros. And Ishmael is spending most of the year in sort of seclusion, study, and is being guided by the poet into the old ways, the mysticism of the secret fire, which is, according to the poet's words, like this godlike being, a spirit, I suppose, that also exists, much as the poet does, like in a material way as well, in the earth. So Ishmael is learning about more or less what seems to be like the sort of root religion of the area, or the people in this area to begin with, which is sort of has resurfaced in various ways and in various interpretations and denominations since, according to the poet. So Ishmael is learning about that old time religion and the mystic ways of the secret fire. And Davren similarly is learning about something that has mostly passed from the world, the craft of the true gold, which is a material that was once made by the dwarves, given the gift and knowledge to do so by the poet's people, which has since this art has been lost, and the material itself, whether it's the material or the dwarves that have been cursed, is not exactly plain at the moment, but the material itself is very dangerous to dwarves, and to a lesser degree also very dangerous to just living things in general, cursing them with a petrified fate. Right. And that's what's going on in the swamp. And in the meantime, we have King Kameron, first of his name, the defender of some people, in Karamaros, tending to his flock, no doubt. There's some things that King Kameron has on his to-do list. Now, mind you, this is in the sort of floaty, timey-wimey bit before we, have fully cleared a year, and that's when we start the current action. But this is in the sort of past. So, as King Kameron has returned to Karamaros from the swamp, what doth he do? Over to you, Special K.
Okay, so King Kameron, first of his name. The first thing he'll be doing is getting an idea of what's happening in his absence. Many meetings about the state of the city, the surrounding area, starting to get an idea of the situation with Beric. We've discussed a little bit off camera.
Which is something that you will be able to learn as the year goes on, like the specifics of that development.
But that's me sort of sending them out. I write a letter to Reathil, to a special someone.
To whom and how do you do that?
I send a courier, actually, with a letter. I address it to the head of the tower, whomever that may be.
Well, now that is interesting. You can roll your circles for this now, because I didn't expect this to be your target, and this is someone you can just roll for. So
Okay. Well, I'm trying to contact the Foxy Fires, but I don't know
yeah,
where
but like that's what I was thinking, and that's not what you can do with your circles. But you can get the like the master of the Tower of Wisdom for sure. It's going to be a very low obstacle as well, because that's your people.
Okay. Circles. Okay. What is the difficulty going to be for this roll?
So the difficulty is going to be, let me just quickly check your life paths here. So I'm going to be quickly.
I mean, I've been out of the tower for a considerable amount of time.
Out. So, oh, they're not there. So they're going to be here. Yeah, Court Summoner, Master Summoner. So, oh, this is the page you were on. So it's going to be. I'm gonna say it's gonna be obstacle 1. Just baseline, because you share a life path with this guy.
Yeah, 50-50. Okay. Oh. Ooh. Can I put any reputation? Can I put the fact I'm a king as a reputation in there?
No, reputations are separate from your traits.
Okay. Is this person a noble? If
you bet your fucking ass they are.
I do have an affiliation for nobles.
From Riethel, perhaps?
Yes.
Yes,
I do. Yes, I actually really do. Yeah. Read your sheet, guys. All right. I'm not going to use the Arthur because it's going to be a long year. I don't know yet how this is going to pan out. So,
so what are you? You're sending a letter now. What does this letter cover?
So essentially, it's addressed to the current leader of the tower, and just saying, you've known me. You've known me many years as a teacher here. I hope that the memory of my time there is still one of good reputation and respect. Things have changed for me now. I'm a king, and I will soon be trying to do what is right for the people of this fair place. I want to reach out to the person who may wear my face or use my name in this city, whom you may know.
Real quick addendum to that. Do you recall that you're dead? Like that version of you got
that's
killed,
true.
Remember? Yeah.
I don't know what they're up to right now.
Presumably working on recreating the seal that kept the wild hunt at bay.
Yeah. Please, this is obviously before I know anything about what's coming. Please please let the leaders of the church know, as I know that you are now one and the same, that I want you to know that I come in peace, but I will defend what is right. These misguided people. Is essentially what I'm saying. It's a both an open letter that we don't have to fight for this, but I'm willing to throw it down if it comes to it.
Yep. So yeah, you want them to start talking about the fact that you come in peace.
Yeah. And I'm coming to see.
Let's give it a roll.
Hey. Okay. Oh man, I think. Oh wow. Wow. What did the guy that hated me the most in the tower get the job? What oh.
I like to imagine.
Enmity clause sounds great here.
I like to imagine you've sent that letter and you're like, oh, we come in peace, but I'm prepared for war, and like it's got smudged in transit, so it literally just says war, and they're like, well, if it's war Kameron wants, well, give it to him.
I am coming. War.
Prepare yourself.
Right,
well, I get. Well, you know what's good. You know what's good about that? I get a tick for it. And I obviously have just made a new enemy. Great.
So,
Well, you can always judge a person by the quality of their enemies.
yeah. Right. So, we are going to invoke the creepy clause. Rather than the standard enmity clause, the GM can invoke this rule, which allows him to bring forth unsavory, detestable seekers of knowledge and power. These characters are always mad in some fashion and murderous. They either seek to gain the power of corruption from the sorcerer or wish to elevate the sorcerer to an exalted place of power and thereby reap a reward for themselves. They may also be unwitting pawns of powers who seek to aid or destroy the sorcerer, sometimes both. So, your letter is received with great enthusiasm. You can name this individual at your leisure, who's the current master of the tower, and they welcome you. They will make sure that you are received with the appropriate, honors and pomp and circumstance.
Oh, great! Cannot wait.
Do you want to name this guy, or shall I?
I think you should name him.
Yep.
I might call him the creepy face.
I suggested Malekith.
I was thinking Malekith, or Mordred.
Lean into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so a quick vote: Malekith or Mordred?
I mean, I like the classic Arthurian, so I'd go with Mordred, but I will bow to the will of the group. Either one is awesome.
I'm backing Mordred because, Malekith makes me think of an elf.
Yeah, Malekith is kind of an elfy type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
you want to keep that in reserve for the murder elf?
Well, I am sending a letter. Now remember, I did say I'm going to find the finest albatross I can and send a letter to Tyrell.
Well,
Basically.
before you do that, put on your sheet in the circles bit on this at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
You can put down Mordred, the master of the tower.
Master of the tower. What's his what's our aptitude to each other? -25.
Same to. It's the same as everything else. So
It's one
one tick there. Cool. So you send a letter to Mordred, master of the tower, and he welcomes you, Master Kameron, to take your rightful place. They shall be waiting.
I don't suppose there's like a little foxfire symbol in the corner of the letter,
No.
is there?
No. Yeah, but you
Oh,
receive
boy.
an invitation, to be sure. What's next on the to-do list?
So yeah, I'm sending an albatross to Tyrell. This is essentially
Same questions. How and where?
how am I going to find him, or how I'm finding the
Yeah,
albatross?
but basically that's the root of the thing.
I'm going to send it back to the main city of the elves, like the main area. Or would you have gone to his ancestral lands?
You would know where I'm from, because I would have. Sorry, correction. You would have known where Terrail is from. Terrail, my character on the shelf from a previous life. You would know where he's from originally, and you may at least know the name of his wife, who would have been the lady of the house when he was off, doing stuff, questing. So you could potentially send a letter there and see if anything happens. Would be my suggestion.
All right, I'll do that.
Would you like some information about who you're sending and where you're sending?
Yeah. Just tell me.
One reason why I wanted to rail sheet back up on my
board,
because I did not write the stuff down independently. So let me see here. Bear with me. I just need to verify. I believe his fiefdom, or if you will, is I'll write them down, but is Asilion is his name, and his wife is Gwayir, and I will write those in the chat for you. Or bondmate, as a The elves
I'm
apparently
going
like
to tell this majestic albatross to go to his home and deliver this letter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make it look really nice because he likes things to be proper to Tyrell.
He was stickety.
He was.
Oh, I put it in the wrong chat. I'll just copy and paste. Give me a second. Too many chats. Too many chats.
Essentially, I'm asking what the situation is in his part. This is the kind of initial things that Cameron's doing, is trying to get an idea of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
He can only be in so places once, and reaffirming that his promise to help him and his people is never far from his mind. That
Mm-hmm.
the Wild Hunt will be sent back to the abyss they came from.
Mm-hmm. And by the time that we, pressed play in current time, you will not have heard an answer. The bird didn't come back either.
Oh. That is, in a sense, an answer.
It is information.
That's odd as well, because albatrosses are normally such lucky birds.
Well, I want a strong bird that could, go a long distance and potentially have to fend it for itself. I think.
Yeah, because the albatross needs to be able to defend itself against the wild hunt in case, just in case they run into each other. It needs to be one of those hard albatrosses with the tattoos and shit.
It's got an anchor tattoo on one of its wings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a true gold spear. All the rage
A
these
partridge
days.
in a pear tree.
A tree.
It is turning into that kind of campaign.
Albatross in a pear tree.
And that was how we founded the holiday of Kameron Mass.
And there was some enchanting I wanted to do as well during the period. If I can get hold of Wyatt, that all depends.
Now, question: don't you have enchanting on your sheet?
You do.
Yeah, but I want he's a better enchanter, and it's a team effort. The king
Right, so
can only do
what do you want? What do you want
so
to enchant?
much. So I wanted to essentially create a not like a fell crown, not like Wraithwind, but create a crown that I can use, I can wear day to day, like my casual crown, if you will, and my work crown,
Specsaver's crown.
Specsaver's crown, yeah, and then enchant it so that when I
just your everyday common sort of crown,
just let them know I've got one.
Just a smart casual,
Smart casual. And when I speak the command word, it switches with the true crown, so I can bring it to me, not be walking around with this giant target on my head all the time.
Mm.
And obviously the dangers of wearing it. That was the idea.
Can I also make a pitch as well? I know that I mentioned this briefly in passing to you, Johannes, but I did want to create a masterwork item of true gold for the king. This sounds like the opportunity.
Are you gonna point at my head with a true gold item?
It sounds like that. He's gonna give you stone brain.
Do you know what? That was me thinking.
It can be made safely.
That was me thinking. I'm asking for a bit. I'm trying to effectively learn this faith and the miracles that are associated with it. And then we've got Kameron wants to make like a teleportation crown, and we've got what's it? It's like I would forge a crown of purest true gold for his royal bonds.
And to be fair, it does not have to be a crown to replicate this to do this effect. It could be something less conspicuous, I'd imagine, but
make him a massive gold codpiece.
So you need something to start the enchanting process, something that already has the properties that would be applicable to the thing that you're doing. So does Kameron have any idea of what to use to imbue this Jown with the translocation stuff?
I'm really glad you asked that question because obviously the king knows because the king has access to all the things, But I am not entirely sure if I do. In which of my many royal boxes that I have such an item?
Yeah, no, it's not even an item. It's a bit of a thing.
It's an essence of something.
Yeah, it's essence.
Yeah, exactly. It's very
things.
similar to how like the dwarven true gold process works. You need an essence of something to do the thing that you want to do.
So I need an essence of translocation.
You need to find like a biological thing that has a trait that relates to translocation, and then you need to carve that up, and you need to put it in your alchemy workshop, and you need to distill that essence. Crown Borom.
I'm not seeing Special K in something like those like Sauvage adverts where it's like, I'm looking for a crown that I just can't find, but is it on my head or is it in my mind? Crown.
Yeah, and then he's burying it in the desert.
Plays like one strum on a guitar.
Oh man, Jesus.
I see that what you're saying, this might be difficult to accomplish.
It has some challenges associated with it.
Yeah. I suppose if you wanted, this is where you could like.
I'm looking at you've picked up on Yalis' subtle hint, so this is going to be well hard.
Yeah. Well, if I can make a pitch to help out here, but from a character who is currently off in the wild, technically speaking, Wyatt is like moving around the countryside, evangelizing the great word of King Kameron and making deals and such. So if you wanted to get in touch with him, which, I report back, Wyatt's reporting back to you as regularly as he's possible. He's not like in the middle of the woods. He's like going to cities and towns. So you could dictate to him to go find said item, and we do a roll and it's off the camera and we see what happens. And
well, before we do any of that, what is the thing that you're looking like? Where do you get this? What translocates?
That is the key issue here.
It is funny that you mention that, actually, because one of the things that Wyatt had long-term planned was to master the creation of a translocation spell. So he has studied these things.
See, all I'm doing is get you to make new characters until I get the thing I need.
I see your long-term plan. You're like, by the time we face the darkness, we're gonna have an army of like John's like ex-characters like behind us.
Me too.
Didn't you play that Stars Without Number game where there was like 100 of you?
Yeah. We when I had to leave, we cloned my guy so you'd have an army of like juiced up, Gene warriors to conquer the universe with. I think when you guys did that. So
I feel like the GM might be saying no, and I understand that.
No, I'm saying.
He's saying, "What's the pitch?"
He's just saying, "Show me the teleport item."
Yeah, give me the thing that you're building.
Show me the money.
Yeah. So I have a question. Not that I want to murder Wyatt, but could he possibly count? As he has been studying and learning and trying to harness the power of teleportation himself.
Well, the big problem there is like we can use something that also is like if you had Shadowfax and you chopped off Shadowfax's heart, sure, but we can massage that.
So we need something with like a quickness or
something that goes real freaking quick,
fast,
translocation.
Yeah, that's I'm starting to get the idea that what you're trying to say is that we need some sort of teleportation item.
Yeah, that could also work, John. Great
item to make the teleportation item.
Yeah, great idea, John. So the thing here is that I'm not hearing any like straight off the bat ideas, which makes me think we'll just fucking move on because there's other shit that we're
sure.
Yeah, sure. It can be something.
I mean, I had another pitch, third final pitch. Our Lord and King is like a big time summoner, right? Couldn't he just summon a spirit?
That would require
to provide him the direction of a thing that would work.
That would require him summoning a spirit.
I'm just saying, like, you could do that, right? You could just summon something and then it'll give you the answer, presuming you can pay the price and pass the rolls and all that jazz.
I've got an idea building on from that. We know from what we've found so far that the poet, according to his claim, and I have no reason for doubting him, is responsible for the idea of like written language and communication.
Yes.
Therefore, I'm assuming that there must be a similar celestial responsible for the principle of motion. Well, not translocation, but motion in general, because translocation would fall under that. So
yeah, like a worldly spirit that once held that domain.
You could ask the poet, like, is there a celestial knocking about who embodies motion,
or where its bones are? Because obviously he did kind of say like his whole family's dead, basically. I think.
Well, yeah, but we don't know if that's like all the celestials or just the ones related to him. But if we could find
it's just
out
the ones that are related
it,
to him on his hierarchy, yeah.
And then perhaps Sweet Daddy K can make with the summoning to like.
That's a good idea.
Sweet Daddy.
Summon that celestial, and then you can be like, oh, tell me all about celestial motion.
Yeah. Well, it's the high ones are the celestials. The poet is basically like a chthonic spirit who tied to the secret fire, which is of this world. So they're two different orders, but basically, yeah. I mean, that's the way to go, isn't it? Pretty much.
I don't really draw the distinctions as Ishmael because I'm all about that sweet secret flame now. So
that's true. It's all the same to you. It's all God to you now, right? Got it.
That's it. Now I've found that there is actually a truth.
Sorry, Davren has a mind for details.
Dank like Diet Coke gods that people have been worshipping. These like caffeine-free gods that people have been worshipping.
Yeah, Euro shopper god.
That's it, man.
So can he do that then, Wheelmaster? Like reach out to the poet, direct, and be like, who is your cousin or brother or sister?
Help me fix my problem, please, poet.
That handled motion or teleportation.
Yeah, give me the pitch, Kameron, for Kameron saying to the poet what you want, because it's not a crazy idea, and as has been established now here by John as well, and I'm confirming it. Yeah, the poet said, like, I'm the last one of my siblings alive, so everyone else is dead.
I will explain to the poet. So essentially, look, like I am now part of this new role that I'm in. I am a custodian of this item of power, which obviously pales in comparison to the source from which you have sprang from. But it can be used for great destruction if fallen into the wrong hands. And I want to protect it and the people it's meant to represent. I want to find a way that I can keep it hidden, but draw it to me in times of crisis and use it responsibly. To do this, I need to delve into a period of magic and knowledge that I have not ventured in for some time. And I wondered if they could help me be able to, if they can give me the words to describe such a thing, perhaps there's something out there they can give me the speed and the control of time and space I would need.
Yeah. Is there like a spare eye of Agamotto that I could just pick up?
I mean, that would be great,
dude. That would be in of itself a super pickup for us right now.
So that's kind of my pitch.
I love the fact that Cameron's like shitting himself about wearing the crown so much that he's like, yeah, I can't wear the crown so much because it's like evil and horribly like painful and can cause me problems. However, like maybe I can summon a god to like make me a magical like juju crown, because that's going to be entirely blissfully free of complication, of course.
Well,
mine like a labyrinth he has.
The poet has indicated that you've already been to where you now want to go, and more than that. He already knows. He hasn't seen this, but the poet knows that you guys have a little bit of the blood that you squeezed out of that thorn vine.
Are you telling me I've had this solution in my pocket the entire time?
But you didn't know what to do with it. So the poet knows about this juice that you have, and has indicated in response that is the remaining, although to some extent befouled now by the sorceries of his erstwhile disciples and the Pale Ones. That is the essence of his sibling. I'll get the name from here as well. So that is the essence and the blood, indeed, of Surulas, the rain of green leaves, which was a his sibling with a great fondness.
That's a great name. That's a really...
the skies, birds, trees, falling leaves, that sort of thing. So if you wanted to perhaps call upon the swiftness of Surulas, then you have the essence right there, and Surulas is dead.
Oh, well, assuming the poet won't be, upset that I use his dead relative's juju for my own juju, then I will proceed to the research and development phase of this planet in a secret laboratory deep.
That's not how juju works.
So, the rain of green leaves. Yeah, it's a really cool name.
And Surulas, you incidentally, because the poet gets into like reminiscing, Surulas was the last one, aside from the poet, to live, and perished shortly after the fall. So you have some of the essence that you squeezed out of one of those vines, and then we'll just speed run through this. So Matthew, get your sheet out, and if we're using, do you summon Wyatt home to enchant this for you?
If he's willing to, yeah.
Is he willing?
He follows his king's commands.
Right. So just look at your sheet as well. So what we're doing, we're gonna, fucking run through this. So we're first using alchemy to extract this aspect of the material that you have. So you someone who has alchemy or taxidermy can do this.
Yeah, my alchemy is 5. I'm not sure how the king Wyatt's alchemy is 5. Not sure how the king's is.
Mine is 3. I can assist you though.
Right. So I'll make the roll then on it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and I'll be like, look, we got this from a dead celestial.
Yeah, I know.
In a cave. Dude, it was pretty rad. If I do say so.
Dude. Base obstacle is 3, yeah?
Yep. So this is extracting the trait.
Oh, come on, not a single goddamn 6.
Yeah, and I don't think alchemy is open. But regardless, that's beside.
Regardless, I'm screwed anyway. But yeah, it is open. But
that's done. That just It was experimentation.
Well, we never established the fail state for it, did we?
No, but it's established here in the process, because this is process.
Right. I couldn't remember.
If you do not follow the proper procedures, if the test has failed, the inherent power of the substance is lost. So you make the blood inert.
Well, we tried.
Well, as Wyatt was supposed to be your point man on this and he failed, he will volunteer to acquire more of the substance if that is his king's wish.
Yes, but take some people with you. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous there. Very dangerous. Like, it's the graveyard of a dead celestial.
Well, dead gods and all that,
We killed the worst thing that was there.
I'm sure I'll manage. I've been known to get in and out of slippery spots. Besides, if I don't come back, then it was too dangerous.
then I will seek out your brother.
Yeah,
Wyatt.
Actually, while you're here, Wyatt, do you want to come with me to heal your brother?
Yeah, about that. I read that in your missives, my lord, and I have to say I'm not keen. The last time we saw each other, I did try to kill him, and he did turn into a horrid abomination. So whatever that thing is certainly not my brother. And even if it were, I would not piss on him if he was on fire.
Well, he might be on fire when I'm done with him. That's for sure.
Well, then I will come to watch. Very good.
That depends how that goes.
Well, lead the way then, my lord.
Shall we do the healing of what? Healing of
The healing on hands, water.
Healing of Alstead. Or is that later in the year?
Also, alchemy is not open-ended. I've got.
Oh,
it
it's
from
not.
the
You
man
verified.
himself.
Cool. I will make that correction.
Yep,
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
And this is like a
I
running
think I
problem.
confused it with astrology, but then astrology has the special rules.
And it's a bit funny in the books. Imagine that. Yeah, I've got it from
No. Thank you. I didn't bother to check
because I need to go check because I got fucked up because I've been well confused sometimes with some of these.
It would have been a fail anyway, regardless, probably. So
triple ones as well. Like it's.
I know it was
clearly not meant to.
Clearly not happening today. Yeah, I need to go and get it myself now. Apparently, so it's all good.
Okay. This is prolonging the shit, but do you have stealthy?
Which one? Me?
Yeah. Whoever's going on in this.
I'm going to Eldawath. Yeah. Here, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I had to. Oh God. Sorry, I had to click off my screen for a minute there. Let me think. I do have stealthily at 2 on Wyatt. I also have, because he's a sorcerer. Let's see if I have anything. I also have the Weather Worker spell. What? So what I would do is I would do the same trick, basically, that we use to get into Eldawath. Is I would summon basically a storm, a fog up.
What the Wyatt?
Give me a obstacle 1 stealthy.
Okay, cool. I can do that. Just justifying my stealthy roll basically here.
Yeah, it's grading how well you stealthy.
You said it's obstacle 1, but I only have a 2, and this is very important because if I don't, Wyatt dies. He does have a 2 persona. Since he's not likely to earn any for a while, he will dump them both into this roll, I think. If that's okay with the Blue Master.
Why is his own man?
Oh, well, it doesn't really matter where I put it, does it? It all matter. Is it obstacle 1? Yes.
Okay.
So and actually, here's fate. Can I sink a fate point to that too, just for the shits and giggles?
Sure.
Sorry, might as well. Oh shoot. Isn't that? There we go. Sorry, didn't crap out on me.
So
didn't matter. Okay.
Wyatt makes it back with only moderate wounds, and is capable of being bandaged and laid up. And the king has
you undersold it, my lord. You undersold it. There was a horde of beast men, and they kind of looked like my brother actually. And after I got through them, then there was these weird blood-soaked vines. They tried to eat me, and then there was this corpse that was smoldering, and there was gold everywhere, and my head is swimming.
Yeah. So Wyatt's having a great time in the hospital for the next little while, and is by extension of that not really gonna be enchanting, at least not at his top game, because he got fucked. So he's free to assist, but I think with let's say -2 dice, probably. Yeah.
Hey, Special K. I think you know a master sorceress who enchants crowns as a hobby.
Dude, it's a bit of a
gag.
It's a bit awkward, right? It's like I could ask.
It feels like this is the moment to call in that card.
I could ask, but it would be a bit awkward.
Yeah, because social awkwardness is definitely the thing that is going to catch us here.
This is definitely the time when you want to worry about things being a little bit awkward, my liege.
Yeah. Pretty sure she made it clear she doesn't want to do anything like that anymore. But
just schmooze her. Lay on some of that like special K schmoozing.
I'm not asking her
put on the crown and tell her she will do this.
Your daddy
remind her that her old king is not the only king that can
I'm trying not to be that kind of king, though.
Well, sometimes, if it's important enough, I'll leave that in your court, my lord.
I like how we went from like, oh, but it's going to be awkward because she's not on board at all, but we would like to ask for her help. And then it's like, should we like magically enslave this person?
I will have you know I am not in support of that plan. My plan was just schmooze her, just try and like make nice. And
we'll lay it at Wyatt's feet. Wyatt's the one suggesting using the sorcery crown to compel, because Wyatt was there when he has felt the power of the crown. He knows it can do it.
One of our evening meals together,
in the hospital,
visiting Wyatt.
While look in my eyes because I got bandages all over my head and body, my arms slung up.
I'm sure he had more eyes at one point.
Just the two, dear king, just the two.
I will ask the question.
I see your sense of humor hasn't improved.
There's no harm in asking an ancient woman who has serious PTSD if she wants to make another crown.
I will lay my good arm.
Just the thing to cheer her up.
I will lay my good arm on the king and squeeze it lightly for emphasis. And I'll say, if it is truly important enough, you will do what you must, my lord. That is all any of us can ever do.
Do you know when occasionally it's like a situation flares up and you're quite glad you're in a city like a million miles away praying?
Yep.
Yeah, studying the sort of roots of existence.
I like to imagine I'm just like reading from like a prayer book or something. I do the whole like disturbance in the force thing where I'm just like, oh no, oh no,
oh dear.
I'll ask the question, but I don't want to derail the session for too long on this.
Yeah, so you're gonna ask Rathwen to enchant you this faux crown that you can to get your intent right. You want it to transfer itself away,
switch,
to your vault or whatever where you keep the real deal. Cool. So you want Rathwen to make this switch crown.
Yeah, and I'll make it clear, this is not like, it's not giving it any kind of diabolical, it's not giving it any more power or data. It's just
you want to just maul near it too, basically.
Just using the blood of a dead, chthonic underworld god,
which I presume she's going to realize.
But aside from that, nothing diabolical.
Yeah, seriously.
I know that makes it sound a lot worse. But we didn't kill it. It was already dead. All right, we're just recycling what's already
blood
there.
From its corpse.
It was like this when I found it.
Yeah. Honestly, if we don't use it for good, who will?
Yeah. All right. So, make your roll.
Oh, you're gonna make me
whatever
do
it is you're rolling.
Are you?
I guess you're persuading. That seems like a good skill for this.
Yeah.
The obstacle remains 8. So
sweet Jesus.
He's been late every time.
Kameron, King Lord. You don't have to use the crown to necessarily compel her, but at least put the crown on to help with your dice rolls. For the love of God, put this on.
Okay. I'll take my shot. I'll take my shot. So I have a persuasion of 2.
That's 1/4 already. Succeed on those bad boys, and you're a quarter of the way there.
I will. Can I use bargaining? No, I can't use bargaining.
No.
No. Can I use like enchanting or alchemy to be like, this is a rare opportunity to do some cool stuff? You don't get this kind of opportunity often. Appeal to her.
I would go for the enchanting maybe if you're pitching this as a like.
Yeah.
Hey, so this is a fun science project.
This
God blood,
and it's not something you do every day, right?
If we happen to bone during it, it's all good too. Yeah. I mean, it's fine.
She gonna buy those doubloons? Can I also? Can I also fork in Dulciriath wise?
She is from Dulciriath.
And it's like you again on the history of this is like I'm trying to use the crown responsibly by not walking around with it on. I'm just trying to get it when I need to, but also
leave it in your hotel room when you go out.
Not paint a target on my back constantly by having it on me and.
Sure.
You could also take the risk and fork in astrology. If you have astrology.
See, Rathlin, the stars are right. Let's forge a new.
I have to roll it.
Forge our powers combine, Wraithwin.
With boning.
I have to roll astrology separate, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Let's take every chance I've got.
The constellation of Barry White is in the ascendant.
Already good. You can hold that again.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a 6.
An exploding 6 thing.
Okay. Well, it's one success in the bag, right?
That's one in the bag.
One.
I just got to get
7 more to go.
7 more.
If you have persona, I would suggest
Oh man, I'm about to dump my persona into this role, and it's not even the most important thing I've got to do this year. But I just want to actually convince it to do something for once.
Yeah, I know. To be fair, she did make that storm for us that one time. That was really helpful.
It would have helped her.
Yeah, fair enough.
We were doing her
a solid.
She needed that amulet back from
but oddly enough, people tend to respond better to requests for help when it also helps them.
So it's just difficulty 8. Come on. 6 though.
You've got a 6, a juicy 6.
I'll do it. She's going to tell
4 right now. We need. Oh, there we go. 5.
Yep, halfway there. Living on a prayer. Some of us are.
Come on.
No, that's it.
Oh,
that's it.
No, that's right. That's it.
That's it.
Yep. So again, we got so caught up on like scratching at the bottom of the barrel that I neglected to talk about the failure state once again. So she doesn't think it's worth the risk trying to make it work like that, but she will cast a glamour to turn it into something else on your person. And that's a one-off thing. Like once you start with the crown, it's gonna go off the spell.
Okay.
So
better than nothing.
I'll take that so that I'll have it changed to something else when I go to Riathil later in the year. So that's fine.
So what is it? What do we make it?
I'm gonna make it into. That would be an interest. No, I've already got that. I'm gonna make it. Does it have to be the same dimensions?
No. But it can't be like a grain of sand. Like it's just there's room there.
I'll turn it into a ring, and then have it like on a chain around my neck.
That's never gone wrong before.
Yeah, that's always been very good. So let's go with that. That sounds great. So you've got the ring crown now.
Why has my hair started falling out? That's weird.
And yeah, Rathwin is not sure how well it's gonna keep. She's fairly confident, but on the other hand, one of the most powerful physical things in existence. So she doesn't know if it's gonna throw off her magic at any given point. But she is confident in the spell. She just doesn't know if the crown will have it.
I have faith in you. You can have faith in yourself.
And now, as a bonus, you have a little vial of dead god.
I was going to say she didn't demand the ichor, so
no,
we have.
she don't need the ichor for that.
We have
I was
ichor
just
now.
trying to snuff out another one of John's characters. After we've got one die, and the other one's like.
Yeah, you go to Wyatt. He's laid out there. Oh God, it hurts. It's like, oh, I brought this back. Oh, sorry, I spilled it.
Thanks.
Oh
no! I'm gonna put it on my shelf.
Yeah, I'd say you put that somewhere next in the vault, away from prying
So after I've derailed the session for like 45 minutes.
Yeah. What's next on the king's to-do list in the time you wanted?
I will go to Alstad and try to heal him. I said I would.
Yep. So you are able to sort of very quickly wrap that up. So Athelstan is still laid out in the abbey, attended to by 4 of these armored figures, which smell like burning wood, and you give him the water. That's what you're doing, right?
I'll talk to him a little bit first, but then I will. Yeah, I'll just.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you want to talk about with him?
Just get an idea of how this came to pass for him. Like how did he end up this way? Because
he is a great and dedicated devotee of the first flame, and as he has indicated before, the power of the flame is great, but it is too much for flesh. And even though he is a dedicated individual and very capable to boot,
his flesh is not strong enough to withhold.
Like it's the power of the flame cannot be sustained by the flesh, and there's nothing to do about that. But he has made some like he indicates that the reason why he still is here, even though now he's like emaciated, kind of bleeding to death, but not really, kind of like
he's in perpetual pain, but not actually dying.
And that is because he summoned his guardians, and one of the things that he struck a bargain for was like they carved out like some sort of deep metaphysical, like soul level aspect of him, which sort of rips his capability of conjuring the flame, the power of the flame out. Essentially what he's saying is he made a pact away, like just for these guys to eviscerate his soul so that they cut off the power of the flame so that the flame doesn't corrupt his flesh that much anymore. And
that's pretty badass, I'll be fair.
Yeah, really, seriously. Yeah, I think I underestimated Athelstan when I was playing Wyatt a little bit.
Yeah, that's what's going on with him. And he's fairly sure that this is not his, like he's not special in any way. This is the fate of mortals.
This has he seen this happen to other people? Like
he knows that this has happened to a bunch of people. And he knows that there's places in Riathil, if you go in some of the cellars that are guarded, there's some things there that you're not going to be able to forget.
Oh, the church is going to have to burn for this.
And they went north looking for the cure, the crown. They wanted to find something to have a buffer against the terrible power of the flame, which they do love and devote themselves to, but they are being destroyed by the flame.
Is he aware that is a toxic relationship he has with this religion? Like, is he actually self-aware enough to realize that he's worshipping something that is bad for him?
Well, he clearly does, because he's cut off part of his spirit to exist.
I tell you what I'm going to do.
He literally wanted to live more than worship the flame. If he was truly that devoted, he would have died for it.
I'm going to try to help you, because you are, in essence, consequences of my own actions. This would not come to pass if I had not done what I had done in my younger days. So this is between me and him and the wood guards.
Mm-hmm.
And we will both seek our redemption. If I cue you, if that is possible, I do not know yet if this is possible. I want you to, and this obviously John, I'll need with your permission when you return. I want you to be the kind of a squire or learn from a friend of mine who has discovered real faith, a real nurturing flame.
This is very good because you're telling him like, we found the real shit, and he's there like, no, dude, I've been dealing with the real shit, and it got too real for me. Like that's what happened to me.
No, this shouldn't happen. This is not. This is the wrong kind of. This is a malformation. The kind of thing that you are worshipping. This should not be done to you. You can understand. This faith that you dedicate yourself is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to help you, and to nurture you and make you a better person, and walk a brighter path. It's not meant to drown you in this darkness and turn you into a monster. I have a friend who's found his way again, and if I can cure you, I want you to spend some time with him. Try and find your way back.
He sees that as a deal that is very, very good to take.
It's a pretty good deal, to be honest. But we'll see.
Right. So you give him the water.
I'm gonna try and see what happens.
So he does get better. So like vitality returns to him a little bit, and he definitely seems to be on the road to making somewhat of a recovery from whatever state he's in. He's for sure going to live from the terrible wounds inflicted on him by Wyatt, and now because he was being pained by those because he cut off the vitality of the flame from himself. So no longer sustained by the flame, he needed the water, and the water seems to be doing pretty good for him. It might take some time, but
Kameron is taking some mental notes because it's a gruesome idea, and it's potentially very dangerous. But there is an idea here that if you can separate the flame from the soul, but it is kind of a mutilation at the same time.
Yeah, he gave you the masterclass in cutting your hand off to save your life. So,
but it's an option there, it is an option if it gets if it's truly a desperate, moment, like that could be done.
Yeah. So
May Wyatt interject, hobbling his way down from the hospital?
It's fine, as long as we don't take a lot of time.
No. No, he just simply wants to, obviously enter the room. But he's all banged up still, obviously. He tries to bow to the king and requests a moment alone with his brother.
Yes, of course.
Don't worry, my liege, just a conversation.
I think the knights have to remain, though. I think that is part of their bargain.
It is of no consequence.
Just as a FYI.
Thank you.
I'm going to go have some crackers with Wraithwin.
I'll sit next to Adelstan and reach slowly into my coat, because I am aware of his guardians, and I will pull out a very ceremonial, ornate-looking dagger. And I'm just going to kind of fiddle with it between my fingers like this. Adelstan, do you remember this? This is Father's. And when you betrayed us, I swore with this in my hand that I would plunge it into your heart. Is there even anything left in there for you to care about what you did to your kin?
there's bigger things afoot now. But I think if you're carrying that around for all these years, it must have been for a reason. And you never found the path that I did. This is where my path led me. So take that for what that is. And if you came here now with that to finish your path, that's fine by me. I made it out. They won't stop you. And sort of nods at the inert, like, statues of armor.
As you said to me before that night you approached me, I am not going to kill you. And I take the knife, I'm going to press it into his hands. You will do as our king commands. Maybe something can come of your wretched life. I care not anymore. And I'm going to leave.
So we leave with Adelstan sort of wrecked still, but recovering in his bed, clutching this ritual knife and looking at it very meaningfully with a dark twinkle in his eye. Okay, the king has secured, I suppose, a new advisor. And it's going to be great. Cool. So what's next for the king?
On the Kameron shore, at this point, if I recall, I received a fevered dream.
Yeah. You have a vision quest to go on.
Yeah.
In the subterranean warrens beyond the ken of modern people in Kameron.
So that's on my list. On my list to do that.
Are we going there now?
Let's do it.
Okay, so is the king going alone?
Well, unfortunately, Ishmael is currently doing his Sunday reading over in the swamplands, and I don't know which of John's characters is around at the moment.
Wyatt's unavailable, and Davren's in Ornine with Ishmael. So
and Terrell is busy.
And he's really busy.
I'll take my guard captain with me if he's willing to come on an errand. He can refuse. I will not force him.
Right, so Egress then?
Egress, yeah.
Now, John, do you want to play Egress in this? Because he's your creation.
Please do.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to play Egress. Obviously, I don't really have a character sheet for him, but I'm happy to play.
Yeah, we'll handwave whatever needs to be done. So so you go by the two of you?
Yeah. I don't.
You're gonna take your entire guard and storm.
Yeah, where I'm going, I don't think the amount of men or women will make a difference. Like it's a spiritual journey.
So we have a montage of the king and his guard captain traveling through the sort of back alleys of Kaer Amoros, descending into the sewers, wading through the sewers, finding the abandoned entrances into the deeper sort of forgotten works below the sewers of Kaer Amoros. There's sort of like deeper buried segments of previous ages of the city. And in those darkened arcades of antiquity, we find a massive pair of bronze doors that Kameron, in this vision that you've had, the secret magic words to speak to open it, and you're free to do so at your will. But you know that beyond these bronze gates is the what has been your dream has told you is Girion, the beast of darkened stars, whom you have been tasked, presumably by the secret fire, maybe. You have been tasked to deliver judgment and justice to Girion, the beast of the darkened stars, like determine his fate and deliver justice accordingly.
But do I know what crimes they're accused of, other than having a really cool name?
No.
Right. I will take Kameron will take a few minutes to sort of examine the door and just take in the moment, steel himself for what comes next, and then proceed to open the door and see what lies.
It opens surprisingly easily. Must be sort of like perfectly aligned with the hinges to carry the massive door.
And obviously time seems to have not affected the door at all.
No, it's spotless. So you push the double doors open, and as we saw this like fairly large room, it's pitch black down here. Maybe Egress has a torch or something, but
he sounds like a sensible dude. He would probably have a torch.
Yeah. So it's pitch black there, and from deep in this dark room, you hear the rattling of chains and a very deep sort of like from the chest kind of voice going.
Okay. Can I see anything yet with the torchlight as I approach?
You're going in then?
I'm going in. I ain't no coward. Yeah. I'm a king after all. Kings don't get scared, right? Right, Egress. I'm not scared. You're not scared, right? We're both down here.
It's not so much a matter of being scared, my lord, but a certain amount of justifiable caution would seem advisable in this situation.
Yeah. Okay.
And as I'm saying that, I'm going to have a look through the open door. Are there any like torches in sconces or anything that I could light to give us a bit more light in the chamber?
Yeah, there definitely are. There are indeed torches on sconces on the walls.
So I'm assuming that Egress is like armoured, shield and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's an overwear. So, I suggest you stand behind me, my lord, and I will light some of these torches as we progress, and hopefully they will light our way. It wouldn't do for anything to come upon us while we're unawares in a situation like this.
So you do, and it seems like it's a bit of a mix between a room and a hallway. It seems to go on for some bit, and you light these torches while you go, and eventually you do have enough light. There's a reflection. You can see two fairly large eyes reflecting the light in the darkness, and there's a shape that starts approaching a little bit, stooped over, almost like going on all fours. Very, very large, sort of like a big, like grizzly bear sized, you think, in the darkness.
Hold there and identify yourself.
There's a shuffling and more rattling of the chains. There's a Is it another one? Who goes there?
It's I, Kameron of the Dark Watchers, king of the land's man.
Do you watch the dark, king?
I have tread the darkened paths and came out with my soul intact.
And yet they send you here.
While Cameron's having his banter with the like shuffling shape, I'm gonna Egress takes out his oil flask that he used to raise a lantern, and I'm basically, obviously tell me if the hall's too wide to do this, but I basically want to run like a line of oil, like
down the
in front of us across the hall. So if this thing starts charging, I can light it with my torch and hopefully give us time to like withdraw.
Yeah. So, the shape comes closer, and you don't start seeing what the shape is. It is a very large bestial man, just long hair, fur, arms going on like almost all on fours, arms and probably legs as well, like tree trunks, long, wicked-looking claws at the end of his fingers, face sort of like distended, kind of like canine shape, or maybe like kind of like a bear, just like because bears are a little bit canine in the shape of the face there, but it's sort of like distended snout, still identifiably like human, quote unquote, but like the form is decidedly bestial, and just a maw full of fangs and a long tongue lapping out every now and then, and massive nostrils, which is they're being used to smell you out, clearly.
My lord, what misbegotten mating betwixt man and beast birthed this abomination?
There's also ragged rogues, just like destroyed by time and abuse and neglect.
An excellent question, Egress. And well, how long has it survived down here? Yes.
So you hear the thing growl again. It's like, they call me Girion, the trembling one, because they heap every indignity upon me for an eternity. Have I not blood enough? And it just like reaches one hand towards you, but like withdraws it as the chains start pulling on the arm. So clearly, Egress, you make the calculation instantly. Like it cannot come even to your oil line if it's anything to do with the chains.
And for what reason have you been confined here, beast?
They send one every time. They want me to say the words because they want to punish me.
What are they punishing you for? What are your crimes?
They want to see those who were once high cast low into the pit. I was kingly once, and a servant of the stars. It sort of like claws at his face, like draws blood. The wounds instantly close behind his wicked claws. There's like tears of blood that are left on his face, but the wounds are gone immediately. It was a moment of weakness. They want me to say the words. I was weak when I should have been strong, and I fell too, but they fell first. And it like points a claw at you, Kameron. Like they fell first, and I was their servant. And then I wanted to be strong for them, and I ate the heart of Surlas, and I was strong, but they did not want me anymore. And there's this like, the sort of like werewolf like freak out that he's just like seems to develop in bulk and just like strains like a bodybuilder against the chains that are both on his feet and his hands. It's sort of like they're like spread eagle, like enraged, trying to push forward, but there's like just muscles bulging and the chains are not giving at all. He's like slobbering now.
My lord, whatever this foul creature is, it's clearly suffering.
Indeed.
I've seen
some time.
I've seen far too many of my own people and my enemies suffer in the wars to wish this on anyone, even a creature such as this.
They send me pity, but I want death.
You want to die?
It's sort of like rocking back and forth, like nervous spasms in its limbs from the exertion.
Perhaps releasing it might be the kindest thing you can do, my lord. This is no life for anyone, even a beast such as this.
No, it's true. But like any cunning test, my dear, it is one for not just him or it's one for me as well.
They send you here to humble me, and look, am I not humble? It sort of reaches out like pleadingly. Is it not enough?
Perhaps, my lord, this is a test of your faith in yourself, whether you can make the difficult choice that now lies ahead of you. Do you seek to gain temporally in some manner from this poor misbegotten creature, or do you make the more difficult choice to release it from its burden? A choice that I believe to be the kinder choice of the two. As I've said, I would not even see a beast such as this brought so low and so cruelly.
When you say release, do you mean kill, or do you mean release from?
This creature is, to my understanding, begging us, pleading with us for an honourable death. And it has always been my experience that if a person believes that it is their time and they seek an honourable way to leave this world, then we should not seek to deny them that. I would hope that when my own time comes, if I am injured or I'm lying broken as this creature is, and I reached out a hand to a fellow warrior or even a passerby and asked them to do me the honour of saving me from pain and sending me on my way, that the person would have the willingness and the forthrightness to accede to my wishes. It is not for us to say whether this creature should die or not, but if the creature itself wishes to die, it wishes an end to its suffering, who are we to deny it simply because it is distasteful to us?
Wise words.
You are
good words.
Spoken like them. And they say that having cast down and desecrated the celestial arts and the fire both, I deserve an eternity of darkness.
It is my belief, creature, that whatever your crimes may have been, and you speak of them as being long ago, there is no crime for which...
And it just starts like raving and freaks out, just like clawing at itself.
There is no crime for which a person deserves to suffer eternally. That is a cruelness beyond any measure. Even the cruelest of warriors I've fought alongside or opposed, I would not wish them an eternity of suffering. We all have to pay. We all have to pay for our crimes. But if you have been here for so long, then I would say your death is as long as it's paid. And I sort of look towards King Kameron.
I know it. I thinking along similar lines, Egress. Although I have to be a pragmatic king. I have to think.
Pragmatism, my lord, is the language of your mind. What does your heart tell you that you should do?
I should give this creature a chance to have a better end than its current state.
Indeed, I I will admit that I'm a warrior at heart. I've commanded men in my time, but I cannot even conceive of a crime so serious that it would merit this punishment for eternity.
What is it you seek? I'm addressing the Beast of the Stars. Would you, if I offered you a chance at some form of redemption, would you take it? Or would you prefer oblivion? For you have not been given a choice.
They have sent so many to kill me. I should like for one of them to succeed.
And they've been unable to do so.
Did they send a weakling or a strong one this time, I wonder?
There is none such life.
My lord, the name that the creature mentioned, it said it at the heart of Surilas. Does that name mean anything to you?
It does, yes. A distasteful act this creature has done. Not very much.
I have slain. I brought down at the height of my power. I brought down the great Surilas, and I became so much more.
If mere strength at arms cannot end the suffering of this poor creature, my lord, is there any chance that your mystical workings could end its suffering?
I've got a spell. Let's just tell you that. I've got a spell that
do you also have any thing that could link you to a Surilas, like here's a Surilas joust, for instance?
Fresh press.
You mean the blood, by chance?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think alchemically you could make something from that could probably kill him straight away, probably, if you want to.
That's what I mean. If you need a magical aim to be able to finish him off with your magecraft,
like a boulder being killed by the sprig of holly, you know. I think it was holly.
Pretty confident I could end your tormented life.
It goes on what passes for like a kneeling, like two knees, and just sort of like whatever's left of the ragged robe just like shreds it and just is there like in the chest, please.
But I could also offer you a chance to do some good with what's left of your life, if you wanted it, if you cared. Because I have
She stares at you.
I have things far worse to fight than you. Far more horrors. I imagine that you would fare well against them. Then I could release you to seek your end against them.
Do you have the craft to break the shackle?
Maybe. I mean, that's me thinking maybe.
It speaks very quickly. If you have the power to kill me, you can surely break the shackles.
I would have to examine them.
It's just like crosses its arms.
I will give aggressor like a look, like if this thing makes an aggressive move to, you know.
Of course, I would do my level best, my lord. But if what it says is true, I fear my sword and shield will prevail a little in this situation.
I'll have a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And at these I imagine it's some intricate lock.
It is very strong shackles. There's no lock that you can see on them. It's like a full metal circle around the arm, big hefty chunks of chain, some sort of dark metal that they're made out of.
Is there any? I'm not. I don't know if I've ever asked this before, but any way to tell if something's lying to you? Like, if I get an idea of its emotional state, like,
Yeah.
what kind of vibe am I getting off this thing?
So, what are you trying to establish?
How true to its word it is, or if it will just if it will go on a murder spree the moment I.
Well, that's. I think your last addition there is not something you can divine from, like, because it's not said that anything about it is not commented on the topic of going on a rampage and killing people. Like, that's not a thing that has been discussed at all. But are you wanting to establish if it feels like the kind of thing this thing would do?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, is it completely mad, or can I actually...
Yeah, you don't have to roll for that. If anything of this is true, probably been here for a while, and probably, there's a lot going on. He's had plenty of time to think about things down here alone.
Mm-hmm. In either case, I am offering you death. You need to face judgment, justice for your crimes. But the cruelty of this imprisonment, I do not agree with.
Then perform your strike, King. Whether it is mine heart or the chains, I cannot.
I'll go for the chains. I'll see. I'll see if I.
Let us know what the king does then.
I'm going to try and use the flame from the torch. Oh, it's metal, isn't it? It's not going to burn through the metal. I'm not that good. Could use the crown. That would be fun. I don't have ancient lockpicking wise, unfortunately, on my sheet. Just checked.
You could start learning lockpick, though. It would. I will say, it would be quadruple because you don't have the tools.
Yeah. Is there any inscription on these chains? They're just.
Maybe. Do you have like Elven?
Elven?
Ripped?
No. No, don't. Be nice if I had a true gold spear, just to hack right through this bad boy. I'm guessing if I just try to unlock it, it's not going to work. Like,
Well, there's nothing to unlock so far. it's a like a straight up metal bracelet with no seams on it and chain.
Look at my stuff. Wait, so these chains are attached to the wall, right? Like,
presumably in the back.
I could cut his arm off. That is an option, I suppose. That is an option. Any ideas, Egress? Well, I'm checking my sheet.
Well, it's still my belief, my lord, that you would be better served ending this creature's suffering. rather than attempting to set it free. Whilst I can understand your logic, my lord, and I'm sure it could be a powerful weapon, in my experience on the battlefield, such unstable weapons often prove to be equally as dangerous, if not more so, to those who wield them as to the person they are aimed at. It's my belief that in the end it would be better served by using your arts to speed this creature on its way and give it the peaceful end that it so craves.
Okay, since I can't find a way to remove these chains, and I don't have a spell, I will attempt to pierce its heart with my fire magic using the. Would you say, John? I had the key to kill. Like they had the. Would I have to make an alchemical?
Oh, well,
what are we doing?
If you wanted to create, like, to use the blood of Surlos to try to kill it, you'd have to make something like a poisoned arrow or dagger or something. Or you could just use the crown, of course, obviously. You have that, right? I guess you're saving the crown because of the glamour that's on it. You want that to be, like, hidden and safe when you go to...
Technically, the glamour is not going to be on it until I leave the sea.
Oh, okay. So then just, go ahead and crown away. I'm not in the room, but a little bird in your ear says that this thing is a demigod, and it is already said repeatedly, many have come before you, and none have succeeded. I presume this is a test to see if you are actually truly worthy and able to wield the power of the true king. But that's just my guess, the little birdie on your shoulder.
That's a voice on the wind.
It's the wind. Okay. It's the wind. It's Wyatt using his wind magic to talk to you from his hospital bed.
All right. I'll attempt to wield the true crown.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
To enhance my still learning spell. To give it a little extra juice.
Right. So what exactly are we talking about? What are you looking for? You're trying to cast the spell, I presume, and you want what? More dice?
I want to bypass whatever regeneration it has, whatever's keeping it alive.
Right. Okay.
Wheelmaster, I have a question.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt, but the power of the true crown, as I understand it, is such that if Kameron or if Matthew was to state his intent of, I want to use the true crown to kill Girion, the Beast of Dark Stars, that would be sufficient to prompt some kind of roll or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just understanding because I know we're trying to
Oh, right. Okay.
To the heart of the
I didn't think I could use
system.
it like that direct. I thought it was more of a.
It is literally pure power.
Yeah, we haven't really
right?
There's no specifics on it, but it so far it has done exactly what you wanted with no very little difficulty.
I will try to end its suffering. That is what I will try to do.
I want more detail on how that's going to happen. What do you imagine or intend when you use this power? As this beast man is still kneeling there, snorting at you.
Could I return him just to being a normal mortal man?
Yes. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I'm going to take take from him what he has taken from the beings he should not have. I'm going to return that essence back to the world.
So it's a sequence of what is it? Oh yeah. So just for how it works physically, think of when Sauron gets his fingers chopped off and the armor sort of collapses inside. So that's what starts happening to the body of Girion, the beast of the darkened stars. And sort of like it starts spasming, howling, whipping about in the chains, and the body seems to sort of like shrink and crumble in and upon itself. There's the crack of bones becoming non-bestial in a very sudden and violent way. And there's when it gets to where he's sort of like twice just the size of a normal man, there's a like continuous stream of something just rank that he vomits up, just flailing about. Just there's this ichor and mucus coming up, and he's flailing about in it, and sort of the end result is that like the hair has fallen off. He has puked up this like dark, viscous foulness, and is for a brief second there's this sort of like late middle-aged human, probably from somewhere around Kameron, you know, as far as the sort of stereotypical look of the locals go.
And chosen.
In similarly, in just a few seconds, there's a very quick creep up of just like the sort of like cracking, breaking of stones as the ichor lapping at his feet and covering every part of him, really, at this point, just like rapidly petrifies him, and he's just like in pure horror, like reaches up, vain, because the chains are very heavy for him now. It's like waves his hand up, and it's like crack, 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 and in a flash, he's turned to stone, and then just pitches forward and just falls into pieces on the ground. And there's silence.
From the sound of the torch, I just
there's the bucket. And maybe like a bubble bursting in the foulness.
I hope he finds peace in death.
As the faithful man, Sir regresses, he'll probably sort of mutter a prayer under his breath and sort of bow his head for a few moments.
Thus passes the glory of the world, as they say.
Indeed.
So we cut away from there, and Kameron has done something about his dream quest. So
I don't know if that was a success, and I apologize for misunderstanding how my own crown works there for a second. But
we haven't talked about it.
And you haven't used it a lot, so how would you know? We only tested it the one time, and then you got cursed, so you...
Yeah, that was only like putting it on, not even doing it. But so you can put on your new order on your summoning list. You know,
what?
Chief deities, you did the thing that was asked of you. You judged Girion, the beast of darkened stars, and you delivered justice. Right. So we've got that wrapped up nice, and we have some time still, though we're not going to go over long, but we're getting started on the sort of next big chunk of this. So a year later. 1 year later.
1 year later.
And we are all leaving Kameron. The sort of, I suppose, a caravan is sort of like laid out at the gates. Everyone's finished. Ishmael has returned. Now spurred on by a newfound faith, something he can stake his belief on, that he thought he had before but didn't, and became bitter, and now he has started applying salve to that wound with the help of the poet and the true secret fire at the heart of the world. And everyone's reunited, and the king has decreed that we do what next.
So is Ishmael back now?
Everyone's
we're
back.
all returned.
The gang's
from
back together.
Yeah.
Right.
Your lordship. It's been a while.
Hey, David, it's good to see you again. You're looking pretty shiny these days.
I try to bow with my dominant hand, and as I do, you notice that I seem to move very stiffly, as if something is sort of constricting my movements at the shoulder.
Pink. Take a load off. Take a seat, have a drink.
Oh, no, I mean, I don't know if you've heard the news, but there's a undead horde at the gates of Riethal, and I have to go speak with some particulars in the city if we're going to have any dwarven steel to help us lift said siege. I
am aware. We are on the cusp of action.
Yeah, of course you're aware. You're the God King, or whatever they styling you as at the countryside. Wyatt's been doing his work well, or he was. I heard he's been laid up in town, actually.
He's recuperating. It's been a tough year for him.
Oh, I'll have to send him a fruit basket or something, cheer him up,
Well, yeah, he will appreciate that.
Yeah, of course he will.
I'm glad to see you are well, my lord. May the secret flame light your path.
And you?
Oh, yes, the secret flame has been quite illuminating for both of us, although I do believe we agreed, Ishmael, because it's secret, hush-hush only in front of the king, right? And like the select cadre, right? Cadres. What'd you call them? Disciples, apprentices, pupils?
I do not believe it is myself who is elaborating on it, Davren.
Oh, were you talking about me?
Yes, that's why I used the word Davren.
Oh, yeah, rocks for brains today, I got a lot on my mind.
What is our next step then, my king?
I am convening a council.
Great. Then I know who we need to get to come along. I got a couple names and a person I got to talk to. You want a few thousand dwarves, right? Armed to the teeth, ready to fight and kill. And it'll only cost you a small fortune. But believe me, they're worth 10,000 of you manlings, maybe 100,000.
It's a tempting offer, Davren, but it's rather irrespective of how much a fortune it costs if the king does not have said fortune.
Do they take credit?
Ixnay on the money, Ishmael. All right, you let me do my thing, and everything will work out. Trust me. You trust me, right? Like,
you're not going to turn my face into a currency.
Oh, well, don't worry. Once we start minting the coins, your face is going right on it.
You joked about that, and I...
Did I? I mean, I make a lot of jokes, so maybe. All right, anyway, you got to go do your council. I got to go do the thing before said council. So, when's the council time? I just need to know, midday? Is it going to be a high tea? What are we doing?
This afternoon we have dignitaries coming in.
Yeah, well, then you're gonna have some dwarven ones too. Don't worry. My liege, if I may take my leave of you.
Of course. You are not bound to me.
Actually, technically speaking, sacred oaths and treaties long ago. I'll talk about that later. I gotta go. And Davren's gonna skedaddle to the Trade Guild Hall in Kameron.
Let me know about this council.
So, yep, the idea is I'm guessing I've heard some of what's happening.
Yeah, you know what's going on. So, to bring us all up to speed, the last king's armies have pushed fairly deep now into the Riverlands, and the scouts are starting to reach Kameron as well. And we know that Beric is currently in Riathil, and Riathil is currently being besieged by the last king's armies.
So the council is essentially a war council. I am preparing to thrust out into the wild to head to Riathil with what I have amassed over this time, and take the fight to the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying if that's Riathil or the king and the north. I'm just saying that I'm going out.
My lord, perhaps before we do this, I should speak to the nobles that are gathering and see if I can sway others to our cause.
If you can, yes, if there is time. As I said, when we were out in Oranine, the time was running out, and it would seem that now is the hour.
So I'm hearing a number of circles rolled. So just let me know what you want to call up.
Ishmael, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I'm basically, as well as sort of preaching the word of the secret flame.
Mm-hmm.
I basically intend to try and use that to sort of rally the nobles, probably using my newfound faith attribute to try and sort of manifest some sort of sign that would be appropriate. So basically gather some nobles together and basically, as I discussed previously, the way I want to try and sort of play it is that I've basically discovered like the true origins of their faith, sort of like the OG faith that was like forgotten, and that it's only by sort of reclaiming our heritage and like reuniting like the two halves of the faith, obviously that battled during the Holy War, can we sort of reunite humanity as they were originally supposed to be, and make a stand against this foul undead mockery of the faith that now bears down upon us.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. So we're talking about the Riathilan nobles, or Karameros nobles.
Well, we're in Karameros at the moment, aren't we? So
Yeah.
I know there are Riathilan nobles here as well. I'm effectively going to be trying to talk to both of them, if at all possible, because what I'm trying to get across is obviously we know they follow like two different branches of the original faith that sort of split off, or the replacement for the original faith. And basically what I'm trying to get across to them is, okay, yeah, you each follow your own versions for like the original faith. I've done all this research to discover the original faith, but there's more similar about our faiths than there are differences. And even if we disagree with each other on the particulars of that faith, which obviously we do because there's been the war, etc., there's one thing we can both agree on, that the sort of dank, blasphemous version that this undead person's following is not either of our faiths, and it makes a mockery of both of them and the original faith, the original fire from which the sparks of their faith sprang. And therefore we need to unite together to make unite the flames of our faith together to make a greater fire that can purge this darkness and drive it forth from the land.
That sounds wonderful. So I'm thinking, how do we do this? Like, oratory would be a good thing to like go that way.
Yeah, that'd be a good skill to have, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Plus, you can fork in like stuff like Riathilan noble wises and all this other stuff. Like,
Yeah, if one does have the skill.
right? Yeah. Obviously, I know he has like a ton of wises, so he'll probably find something that applies.
Yeah, there's priest wise in there.
Yeah.
And
He's trying to basically rally Kameron to rise up and support the king, and basically give Kameron the army he does not currently possess.
Yeah. Get up, stand up.
Mm-hmm.
What I'd
actually
like to do is when I've gathered all people together and I give them a stirring oratory, I actually want to try and use my newfound faith to pray for a minor miracle, i.e. like a sign that like the faith, the flame sort of favours this course of action I'm talking. So that might be like a sort of ghostly fire materialising, like a figure wreathed in flames or something like that.
You can bring about the flaming bush for these hungry faithful.
But basically I want to sort of summon some sort of like minor miracle or some sign that all true followers of the flame can sort of rally behind. So I'll be doing the whole like pray like, oh great, I won't call it the secret flame, I'm just going to call it like the great flame, because I think that sort of encompasses everyone. And I'm saying, great flame, if it is your will that these humble servants of yours unite in the face of this great danger that mocks the purity of your faith, then I beg you, grant us a sign.
Yeah. And the thing is, you're going to get some help, which unless you rebuff it, you will get it.
Mate, I'm planning to dump a D point into it, so.
Yeah. There's also there's already people who can be on board with this like ecumenical thing here, so they will join you in your call to the sacred fire, even if they don't necessarily they don't have the handbook that you do, but they can be on board with this. So there's people in the crowd that will help you if you want their help.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. What I'd like to do, I don't know if this is possible because I'm still new to the faith mechanic, and this is the first deed point I've had, let alone spent. So what I'm sort of envisioning, obviously again, feel free to tell me if it's not possible, is effectively what I'm looking to do, all the people who've gathered around to listen to me, I'd like this sign, when it's conjured, assuming it works, to effectively leave a mark on all the people who are here. Not like anything ridiculous, like they're always burning or whatever, but some sort of mark. So some sort of mark. So after this, when I sort of start trying to pull the face together, effectively we're going to have these people are the sort of inner circle or disciples of it, the first people who heard the true word.
They were at the first what do you call the Sermon on the Mount.
Exactly. Yeah.
They were at the ground zero when this thing kicked off.
And I'm hoping that once they've got some sort of visible sign, after we've done this and they're sort of on board with it's all one faith in the true flame, they can then sort of go out and be spreading it as well as myself.
Yeah. Okay, we can sort of fine tune that. Currently, I'm thinking maybe if we want it to be always on, then we need to maybe fine tune it quite a bit. If we wanted it to manifest when someone's maybe praying or whatever, I was thinking maybe like a light halo of fire going up when that sort of thing, depending on how out with it we want to be.
I would quite like it to be always on, and I was thinking of taking a tip off Big Daddy K with his special shadow eyes. I was thinking maybe the coloured part of the iris is changes to a sort of orangey golden sort of flame colour.
There's also this book series I read where blessed of this goddess had a mote of her sign in her eyes, so that you would always be able to denote that she was chosen of this god. So that's another possibility as well.
Yeah, no, we can do fiery eyes.
Yeah,
to be sure.
So I think that's a very visible thing. And then when these people sort of go out, it's an obvious thing. They're the people who were there at that first sermon. They've been sort of marked by the true flame, and it's a visible thing.
Yeah. Okay, that all sounds wonderful. You're going to get a couple of helping die from the people with actual faith in the crowd who are helping you. So the way that this goes is, let's study this. So for a deeds point, you can double the base dice of an ability. So whatever you have as a stat, you can double that, and then you can put on 2 extra on top.
So I'll be on 10 dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is very, very spicy miracle.
Can I also put persona into it as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right, okay, so I've got 10 at the minute. So and how many persona can you put into a roll?
3 maximum.
Right, okay, 3, boom. So that takes me up to 13 dice.
I think we're going to fire town. We're going to
counter flame army now.
Don't build it up, because I can still get like 12 ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because like
if that happens, I will literally die.
Cameron's hovering, in the wings, just like stage whispering.
Right, so what I'm going to do, if it's all right, because obviously it's not going to auto double it.
Yep.
I'll just add the rest of the dice as like help dice or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's not +9. Yeah. Okay. And I could just add it as author dice, couldn't I? So 2 dice from help. Then I've got doubled, so I've got another 4 from that, plus a 3, so 7. And I believe it's obstacle 5 for a minor miracle.
Yep, that is true.
Boom.
Check that shit.
Give me them successes. Praise the flame.
John, please,
look how many 6s are
please
in there, bro.
put in a fake.
Yeah,
please fucking put in a fake, because that is ridiculous.
Mate, I'm gonna be on that roll quicker than a tramp on chips, mate. Yeah, I'll drop a fake.
How many is that even?
It's
4,
8 sixes.
So you re-roll 8 sixes.
I am pleased for you, mate. I am really pleased for you. But there's a little part of me that's like...
Oh, it's another 6. Well, what's that? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes plus another 6.
And then you can re-roll the 6 on faith, because it's open-ended, right?
It's like the anti-Cameron roll.
Oh.
So that's
it was.
16 successes.
That's triple of the difficulty.
So
I should hope so, the amount of points I pumped into it.
And the D point, yeah. So does that mean like we literally he just called the banners of the entire city basically to his like, because that's like a massive fucking success. So like I think it's the highest roll we've ever seen.
You won the crown, mate.
And technically, I think it already re-rolled your 6s, but it doesn't really matter. But we're way off the scale anyway.
I appreciate the offer, my lord, but I am but a humble servant of the flame.
And so
the dice have spoken.
Yeah. So I think the thing is,
faith manages, my lord.
With faith, you cannot advance it unless you succeed. So failures don't count with faith. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is, if you succeed, the success is total. There's no 2 ways about it. If you succeed with faith, you get the thing that you asked for. So,
but do you succeed even more if you really?
So, we wanted like a manifestation of the secret fire. Is that
but basically, I'm hoping for sort of like a sign that like stirs people into being like, yes, get them on board with like the true flame, to try and like forget their divisions. Because like I say, part of the reason for going for the secret flame was that I'm not basically saying, oh, your flame worship is bullshit, just like forget it. I'm like, no, you're worshipping the right thing, but you've just sort of like gone about it the wrong way. Here's like the true way, and obviously I'm praying like, oh, true flame, if there is. If I leave it up to you to show these people whether I speak the truth, and then like I say, I want all the people there who hopefully accept the true flame into their heart to be like marked in some way to show that they've accepted like the worship of the true flame.
I want to say there's like there's one of these faithful people who were helping you pray, who are like in religious ecstasy, like they take your hand as you finish your thing there, and there's
Can I just do a John Dury and be like, one thing, my liege?
Just one more thing, my liege.
Just one more thing. Just to add an extra level of spice to this, because I established earlier that I wanted Aldistan to sort of spend time with you and learn about the... Can he be actually present, like almost. I almost
Sure.
wanted him to squire for you, kind of like be your aid for.
Basically, the first of his new paladins, essentially.
It'd be quite cool if the part of the miracle, like the ridiculous successes, was that it sort of redirected the thing that was like fucking him up with the other flame to like the true flame instead. So he didn't need like all of his soul like leached out, because it wasn't this dank like false flame like burning him to a crisp. It was like the true flame. Because then you can do that whole thing where you're like you've literally just like healed someone with the power of the true flame in front of all these.
I just thought I'd mention that because that's going to be both cathartic for him and a really nice dovetail for what I did earlier in the year.
So there's like this like incredible light of Ishmael being lit up in golden fire, and one of these priests with actual faith that were praying with you clasps your hand in religious ecstasy, and the fire sort of like spreads to their arm. They grab someone else, and there's this like link of hands on fire that they form as people are throwing in like in ecstasy, really, at the manifestation of their actual beliefs being played out here. And there's the linking of hands and the linking of fire. The people who know.
That reference.
A part of this is like when this sort of like fire spreads through the crowd by way of hands clasped in unity. There's a blast of armor just like thrown into the streets as these summoned servants of Adelstan are just banished. They're just sent away, and Adelstan is sort of blown off his feet. He's on the ground. There's his wound is back open up, and he's bleeding. The fire is sort of there for him to look at. He looks it up as like this was the Passion of the Christ, and he's reaching out into the fire, and the fire washes over him as well into the wound, closes it over.
I like to imagine as the fire washes over him, it's basically like me like reaching down a hand to like help him up, and then the fire sort of runs down my arm and into him.
Yeah, and then the circle is completed with that, and there's much like with everyone else who's going to be leaving here. Adelstan is going to have the stigmata of this event forever, and he has just been refilled with the spirit of fire. This time it's good.
So yes, as this is sort of like it's starting to like fade a bit, and everyone's sort of like recovering themselves a bit, I'm basically going to turn to everyone and say, you have seen the power of our combined faiths in the true flame. You are all blessed as children of the flame. Go forth from this place and spread the word to others so that they might share in our faith, and prepare yourselves, for a great darkness is now upon us all, and all of us will be required to bear a light that we may strike back against this darkness and push it away from our homes and those that we love.
The crowd like hangs on to your every word, and this will be the gospel of Ishmael.
Could be Flame Jesus.
Spicy J. The crowd eventually does disperse. There are some people who really don't want to go because you have just revealed a deep truth here. So yeah, we're gonna have immediately Ishmael, you can open up your reputation spot there. Sweet. And you can put down a 3-die reputation as being like the apostle of the sacred fire.
Nice. Consider it done.
And because the word will spread now. And
Then I kind of hobble back to Kameron and be like, if I don't pass another roll, that was fucking sweet, my liege.
That was pretty good.
I can die contentedly now.
I love the thought. I go back and I'm like, well,
my work is done.
That was the thing. And Cameron's just like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Yeah, so the miracle of Karameros, as it will be known, is completed, and we have, let's say, we have some people on board now. Yeah,
Let's
have,
hope to get some non-people on board too. You know.
Oh, like goats.
Well, I wouldn't call us ghosts to our
Minotaurs?
face, but
Your circles roll for dwarves then.
right. Oh, yeah.
So
I don't know. I cannot possibly follow up that epic.
just
display.
start a new religion.
To be
I know.
fair, if you get a circles roll on the dwarves with like 11 now, I will laugh my bit.
Well, let's see how high we can get. So, as I understand it, so basically the situation that I'm contriving is that at this point, I've left Karmer, the head of the Thorkstormers, back in Oranine to garrison it with his small company of men that he has. However, he's basically said to me, okay, you can go and talk to my lieutenant that's in Karameros, the guy we sent out, the Herald. But really, you got to talk to Dalgrunda because she is the one who holds the contract with us right now. So basically, I need to convince Dalgrunda, the trade hall mistress of Karameros, to basically let me have the Thorkstormers so I can go with them to Riethal.
Do you have a relationship, or this is circles roll?
This is going to be circles because I'm still developing her. So, yeah.
Yep. So obstacle 3 then, because no, obstacle 1 because you were a trader.
Yes, correct.
So,
We share the same
yeah.
kind of background.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, where did my character sheet go? Pardon me. I'm all flustered from witnessing the birth of a new religion.
Spicy.
Like, oh.
It's getting hot in here.
I know, seriously.
Is it just me or?
I thought I was at a revival, evangelical style, back home. Right. So let me see here. It's circles, correct?
Yeah, circles 1.
Circles 1. Now, if I understand the way circles work correctly, if my intention is to convince her to give me the Thorkstormers and I succeed, she will do as I want.
No, this is for you contacting her.
This is just to contact her. Okay. I just need to know if I need to sync points. or not
Access
into
her,
it.
basically.
Got it. Right. So I need to access her first, then convince her. Got it. Cool. Perfect. That works for me. My circles is 3. You said it was a difficulty 1?
Yep. And you'll get an extra die because this is a named NPC we're doing for the second time. So.
And would my reputations kick in for the guild or my affiliations?
Yeah.
All right, so 2 dice on that. I'm going to put in a persona point 2 because I really don't want to fail this. Because I need to at least get to her first before I start failing. And you said that's base obstacle 1?
Yep. There we go.
Oh, wow. I'm glad I sunk extra points into it. Jesus. I'm going to re-roll as well with the fate because I need the points anyway. Oh, it's 2 successes. Sorry. I don't know what plan I'm on. Oh! Do I get to re-roll that one too?
Yeah. They do explode.
All right, let's do it. All right, cool. So I think it's 3 successes in total.
Yeah. And you're
good.
already over the obstacle, so you're good.
Yep.
So yeah, you can set up your meeting. There's nothing, going wrong for the moment.
Right.
So yeah, what's your pitch?
So I'll enter the trade hall. I will pay all respects, etc., etc., and I will inform Dalgrunda of my mission from both the Chancellor and Senate of our people, and that which is to liaison with the true king of Dulcirath, King Kameron, who has declared that all vassals of the kingdom are to march to Riethal if they are able, considering that we are vassals of old Dulcirath, and he is their heir, he is the heir, and she is currently sitting on about 3,000 or so well-armed dwarves, and of course I also have the letter stating from Karmer that he would consent to allowing the Thorkstormers to accompany me. I just need her to allow that to happen because, again, a dwarf cannot break an oath, and they made a contract with her. So it's life or death. It's the life or death of our people. It's life or death of Dulciriath and the world to come. So, and she follows our religion. She'll know what that means. So, basically, I'm cajoling and imploring her to just don't make it difficult.
And your skill for this is?
Well, I imagine it's going to be. It could be my sonorous debate, but I'm not sure if that would be considered untoward.
No, it's
to use on a fellow dwarf. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Cool. So, what's that difficulty? You think?
4.
Okay. So I can fork in my oratory. That's for 1. And because we're affiliated with the guild, do I get a dice for my?
No, you.
That's only on the circles.
Yeah, the circles. Yeah.
Got it. Cool. And I can dump up to 3 persona, right?
Yep.
I am going to do just that. And you said it was 4, right?
4. Yep.
Oh my God. Really?
That is the spirit of
that
the
is
king.
That is the king's spirit flowing through me. Right.
So, obviously, your faith in the sacred flame is lacking.
Yeah. She doesn't want to say no, but it is also an existential threat to her people here.
Okay.
If we have these folks leave, and she just is very sorry, but she cannot do it.
Mistress, if I may, you understand that this is a matter of great import that affects every Alantinian. I understand you have a duty. You've sworn oaths to your people here, but may I implore you to give me some task or some way to release?
Well, she does have one. Like, just get rid of the threat to Karamaros.
And what is this threat?
Is it not the same threat that plagues all these lands? Like, you might be headed to Riathil, but we will share that same fate very soon. So
if we go to Riathil in force with our king at the helm, the Flame King will have no choice but to meet him.
Then,
which will spare Kameron, and if my king cannot prevail, then we all doomed anyway. So, and might I remind you, mistress, he's your king too. For your ancestors, as mine, swore the same oaths to Dulciriath.
This may all be fine and good, but it changes nothing. And if the only thing that is going to change anything is the king dealing with this threat, then it is for the king to do so. And there's nothing the rest of us can do. And because of your failed roll, there's no arguing about this anymore.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So this is just where it's left at, the problem is not going to go away if I let you have my mercenaries, basically, is the thing. The problem that you have is not going to go away. My problem is going to intensify, and we're going to die here quicker if this happens. And there's no winning, basically, in this.
So she's given up, basically, and is thinking myopically.
She's saying that
the
best chance that we have here in Kameron is to have more people here. And if you're going out there to meet the true threat head on with the only weapon that we have, may the ancestors be with you. But we're gonna try and survive the siege here.
I know I failed that role, and I can't convince her with with anything other than probably violence at this point. I would rather not assassinate a guild master in her own hall. Can I instead make a direct appeal to the dwarves
to desert
both the Thorkstormers and the Guilders here? And appeal to their honor, and then
that
to
will
honor
be
their
very
oaths.
difficult because of your own culture here, and you do realize this, that they've all sworn oaths. So
it's like, I know there's conflicting oaths here, but like, our ancestors swore this oath. So basically, I'm trying to get them to prioritize the greater oath, essentially.
Yeah, you're telling them prioritize this historical thing that you did not swear, and discard this thing that you personally did swear.
Yeah, I know it's tough. It'll be a tough sell, but I might have to go the way of John here and slap down the deeds point. We want every able dwarf. Hell, and at this point, I'm taking all her dwarves now. I'm taking every dwarf in the city at this point now. Like, I don't give a shit anymore.
She's coming too. Put her in a bag.
Seriously, I'll put her in chains if I have to. I don't give a shit at this point. All right. So can I try the sonorous debate again?
Yes.
But this time to the dwarves assembled, every dwarf that can hear me.
Yeah.
And my pitch will be simple. The ancestors watch us, they guide and protect us, and they swore an oath to the true kings of Dosiriath, who granted us the right to live in peace and to make our own way in the world. And now the king has returned, and he calls to you to stand and fight for your country, for your kingdom, and for the world to come. And that will be my pitch.
Yeah. And they will put up a mighty obstacle.
I'm
6 for this.
So Deeds point is double my
your
thing,
base skill.
My base, right? So that would be 6. Then I can fork in my oratory. No, that would be 3, 4 for the oratory. Reputations don't matter here again. Affiliations don't matter here again, right?
Yep.
Just double checking. And then I can do a max of 3 persona, right?
That is correct.
And it's a 6, you said?
6, yeah.
All right. If this fails, I'm gonna cry.
Ooh.
Wow, it's not really going well for Davren today.
Well, you can spend 1 fate to get an extra die, and if you roll 3 6s on that 1 die,
there is 2 6s in that.
2 die.
That is what I'm talking about. It is already re-rolled those, so that's not what happens here. But
you'd roll the 1. Yeah,
you can get an extra die for this now.
All right.
Did you use the D's point as well?
I did. Yeah, I did. I mean, it's not lost because it's going into one of the skills that I want, my magic skills, but still. I know, right? I'm having the opposite. I'm having ear lock right now.
We're
yeah, no, it's not happening.
No, yeah. So you'll get a bunch of people, like you'll get the people who hear your message. Like let's say there's there's like the 50 dwarves.
Whoever's in the hall, basically.
50 dwarves who step forward and pick up your pitch, and the rest, even those who might have been intending to step forward as well, they are being held back by the fact that it immediately turns into accusations of oath breaking. And you knew that this could have been happening, and it does happen. And you guys get fucking lit up in the barracks that you're making this pitch in, and you are very quickly escorted out because you guys all need to go and die in a ditch alone because you're cowards, because you don't stick to your oath that you swore. Like all this, like they don't have a problem with what you're saying.
Yeah, I know, but they're prioritizing one set of oaths. We're probably I get it. I totally. Davren gets it, but
and this is the hard bargain that you know that you were going to sell to them, and you get a minority that get tossed out. Like you know that they're going to be writing letters home en masse saying these guys are all worms, but that's the price that we're paying here now. It's the the unsung heroes now that have stepped forward, and you know this, and maybe that, like, depending on how you're playing this, maybe that weighs on Davren, maybe it doesn't, but you know that every one of these people, they're gonna, even if we succeed and there's a new dawn and a better world, they're gonna have to live this down forever, even though they might be heroes by the end. But they did step out of line. Fear.
Can I make a quick comment to them as we're thrown out of the guild hall and the barracks? Gentlemen, I understand what you've done here today. It's a great sacrifice. When oaths conflict, we often find ourselves in a crucible, a moment in time where we have to make a hard choice. And you prioritized the glory of our ancestors and the future world to come over your own personal honor and that of your families. And believe me when I say that I will not forget that, and your king shall not forget that. And you all shall stand with me at our king's side as his personal guard in the battle to come. We shall have a place of honor if we shall fall, and even greater will our glory be if we succeed.
You see a lot of grim faces nodding at you from the crowd, and you see, like, there's a couple people who have already taken out their oath knives, who are just, like, cutting the palm, and they're holding up their
I'll do the same as well.
As a sign.
I'll do the same as well.
And from the back there, like, breaking the moment is like, so the king is this pansy human, right? Is he really worth all this? And there's this, like, a slow, like,
manlings might wilt and falter like the pansy in the field, as you say, my friend. But come and see with your own eyes the might of our king, and you tell me then if he is weak.
And a more serious one, like, from the front row, like one of the first to step up, like, steps up to you and sort of, like, whispers to you, like, your guy better be worth it, because I think otherwise we're gonna end up killing him and not the enemy.
I will clasp this dwarf on the shoulders, and I will put my head against his, and I will say that, trust me, brother, your faith will be rewarded.
It's not about the reward. It's just,
it will be worth it.
I hope so.
For the new world to come, brother.
Yeah. And the more serious one turns from you to the rest. There's a bit of a veteran, I guess, like a graybeard.
Yeah, definitely.
And sort of, like, holds up a hand with the oath knife, and says, like, for a new world, because we all have to live in it. And it, like, nods, elder statesman, like, to the rest. And you see, like, some of the, like, the laughing clowns in the back that just sort of quiet up for a bit, and this is, like, taps you on the shoulder and it's like, you lead on then. Let's go see the king.
Come, men, to the king's side.
Yeah,
and I will leave them there.
Off they go. So we have assembled our caravan now. There's Riathalan nobles, some of their attendants, some of them may be household soldiers, but they're not an army. They're other things. We've got religiously motivated everything. So there's just the new believers en masse, commoners, merchants, soldiers, priests, probably some sorcerers as well. Just like a people's movement now of Ishmael's making. And who else do we have? We've got the Royal Guard, led by Egress, and there's some Dark Watchers in their dark capes. I think there's the dwarven square. I want to say, like, there's this dwarven square formation fighting as they do, and King.
Yes.
Whenceforth shall we ride?
Well,
I thought he'd activated his crown and it swapped him by mistake.
Yeah. You teleported yourself away.
I went to grab something. We so is this the assembled meeting now?
Yeah, no, this is the caravan out of Kameron. You've called the banners. Everyone's here now. They're waiting for the king's word.
We head to Reafil to assist our friend Beric in his defense of Reafil and seek to smite down this enemy who has plagued us for so long. We ride forth, not just for ourselves, but for all of mankind. We go with friends from far away, gesturing at the dwarfs, old friends, and a new flame, long lost and rediscovered.
I sort of take up a bit of a rousing cheer when he mentions like a new flame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll cheer when he mentions the dwarves as well and the flame.
Together, we will save what we can, and when the day is done, there will be but one king.
The king is our light. Let us follow him and push back the darkness.
Steel your hearts. We ride.
To the king!
For the king of the new world to come!
And with a rousing cheer, the king's caravan departs to the east. No doubt to travel through some rough roads because, as we know, the enemy's scouts are moving. They're prowling the countrysides over here.
Dare I ask, is Wraithwin with us, or is she pieced out?
Wraithwin is with you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I knew that cheese board would do the trick.
Yeah, the Gruyere really paired with the red.
She's powerless to resist the gouda.
When you've lived that long, you really appreciate a good chowder. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that in my bones.
Yeah, even the undead cannot resist.
Yeah.
The chowder.
Yeah, the odor is tempting even to the undead. I'm not saying she's undead.
She's not.
Might be though.
Kind of is.
We're not sure. It's ambiguous.
Yeah, sort of. She's in between lives.
She's transitioning between lives.
Jesus.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we're heading out of the holy city to go, I guess, like break the siege of the last king's armies,
and maybe kill the Flame King. I think if we can.
I'm hoping as well given that some of my flame adherents are like nobles. Hopefully they'll be bringing their like troops and whatnot with them. So.
Yeah, they're bringing like even the non-believers, because you guys convinced those guys some time ago now.
Yeah.
You had good dice rolls.
Yeah. So like, basically, the nobles of Reafil that had been exiled or voluntarily went to exile in Dorothea, they're all coming back with you now. You've got the nobles, the exiled nobles at your back, and with everything they had.
So I'm hoping we've got some of the Kameron nobles as well.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah. All of the Reathilans and the Kameron folks as well. Your message is very applicable to them because they are already they grew up in the holy city. They know about prophets, and you are the real deal. So yeah, definitely you've got the nobles. Like I said, like the cross section is broad. You've got the nobles, the merchants, you've got the commoners, anyone who was there and who has subsequently learned of this stuff.
I really hope Aldistan is with you as well. Just like he's now
Aldistan
all
is there.
in.
He's a true believer now.
He's like the sort of like doubting Thomas character, like didn't believe, and now he's been like converted.
Yeah. And now, as we know, there's no believer like a convert.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
really.
Witness. Yeah, witness.
Witness me.
Testify.
Yeah. So we're bringing the fire and some other stuff probably next time as we pick up.
I'm hoping, given that there's some like, I know there's at least like a smattering of people who've got like the faith stat for I'm hoping to basically gather them into like a sort of, I suppose, like inner circle, for want of a better term, because like best believe there's going to be some like praying going on before we like go into battle.
Yeah, the Council of Nicaea is formed.
I'll say exactly. Yeah. All we're going to do then is we've got to amalgamate the various holidays of the two different sects.
Yeah. Just
you have to do some calendar work, you know.
Yeah. And like we already started. You started this new thing with syncretism. You said we got 3, make it 1.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, you were hitting all the religious buttons there real hard.
Yeah. And we hammered that syncretism with a deeds point as well, with massive success.
I'm just glad one of our deeds points proved worthy.
Hey, to be fair, man, I know yours didn't go the way you wanted it to, man, but
no,
for a failed roll, do you know what? 50 dwarves. That's not bad.
I'll take it.
That's pretty fucking good for a failed roll.
And
right in the vein.
And you also got the true believers now, because these guys were willing to pay the price now. So
yeah.
So we just need to get your dwarves into like the worship of the true flame, man, and let our powers combine.
Which isn't too far
technically speaking, we kind of sort of do and don't. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
We could be easily swayed, I think, in that regard, because our gods. Maybe these will be the first of my disciples. Maybe I'll tell them the truth on the eve of battle.
That's what I'm thinking. Because if we've
fuck them, fuck the high ones.
Sacred flame. Dwarves who spend all their lives working in the forges with fire to like fires of creation.
And we were taught personally by one of their children.
Yeah, and we're like,
the shit that we do.
And we're like, we're trying to like, we're trying to use our faith in the sacred flame.
I know what I'm doing on the eve of the battle with these guys.
Yeah. We're trying to use the faith in the sacred flame to forge a new, better world.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Fuck yeah.
We can sell that.
Yeah. And besides, we're the same country, same religion would be nice. We could all get together. Besides, I make these guys like born again hard and following me personally.
Plus, looking into the future, like after this, if like we do cement King Kameron's leadership and it's all well and good, and we're then looking to take on the greater darkness once we've dealt with all these undead shenanigans. That's gonna help. Having everyone like united behind a single faith is going to make it vastly easier to get everyone on board.
Yeah. Because then you have the king, you got the oaths, you got the religion, you got the priests, you start building all the basically how monarchies and civilization has worked for thousands of years.
I really hope that the fate of the world doesn't rest upon my dice rolls.
It does.
Matthew, I have some news for you.
We already spent our deeds points this session, so next session.
I ain't spending that thing unless it's like break glass.
We are, I believe, at a break glass moment, pretty much.
Unless the darkness has built a portal and is about to.
If it's any help, Matthew, I can pray for like blessings and be like, I bless you with the sacred flames gift of an extra dice, my son.
I'm gonna need at least 5 of those bad boys.
Why do you think I'm gathering like all the priests together?
Yeah, really. You're gonna have like just true faith bombs on people. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, we already know that this like undead necro king is like rocking some like serious like tainted flame like shizzle. We've known that for ages. So like the only way we're going to sort of oppose him is like which is why my character sort of wanted to find this is we obviously got the dwarves bringing their like steel to it. We've got Kameron's sorcery and we've got your art, and now we've also got like the faith of the true flame. So the more like arrows we can like, the more weapons we can add to our arsenal, the more likely we can triumph over them.
I feel like we, despite not focusing on it entirely, I think we've stacked the deck as much as we can, despite the fact that we took lots of turns to get here. So this is the army, these are the forces we got, and the King's going to have to make good on all the bravado that we've been, shit singing the whole time.
Yeah.
which means crown, deeds point, everything's on the table.
I'm looking forward to like Biggie K's stirring battle speech next session, man.
Oh yeah.
Now is the time, and this is the day. Those who are not here will wish they'd shared this moment since Swithin's day.
And until that time, I think we'll say goodbye for now.
Well, thank you very much. Very much enjoyed it.
Yep.
Right, I was always sort out author and whatever, but